What's going on with you boys? We got something special today. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? We got some little sneaks going on. But anyways, I'm going to be actually telling you guys what's going to be getting added into the game, having a little bit of transparency because it's about to be a massive update. I'm talking, you've never seen a game come out with an update as quickly as we're about to do. You got no idea. But let's get into this. First things first, I'm going to give you guys a general rundown on what's about to be added. There's going to be 10 new creatures getting added into the game. Yes, you heard me correctly. 10 new creatures. And let me tell you, nobody is more excited than this as I am. I have been waiting for new creatures for so long, and we finally have the means to do so. I love PvE. I know a lot of you guys haven't really seen a good PvE game on Roblox. We're hoping to bring that into this game. It's going to be hype, along with a whole bunch of new accessories. I'm talking probably like 10 to 30, not 10 to 30, 20 to 30 accessories, my bad, that are going to be added to these creatures, right? And along with that, it's going to be an entire accessory rework, right? There's going to be common, rare, epic, legendary, mythic, and transcendent accessories. Transcendent's not going to happen until a while because we need a good enough PvP and PvE section that is hard enough to actually reward players for something that good, right? And it's going to be so cool to look forward to. And I'm going to give you guys a breakdown on what exactly these new accessories are going to be doing. So the first thing is you have commons, right? This is going to be like 5 vitality. There's going to be 5 strength, 10 mana, and 10 speed, right? Something that you're not going to be running. Complete garbage, right? Then you have rare, right? And these are going to be dropped by like the first creatures that you're going to fight. You're going to have stuff that gets like 20 vitality, 20 speed, 20 mana, and 10 strength, right? Something calm, something calm. It's actually pretty good. I'm not going to lie. It's pretty good. I mean, you actually have some that worked like this for a while. And we got epics, which we've had in the game. And these are going to be like half of what a legendary would be, right, on substats. So it'd be like the same stats like I talked about, like 20 speed, 10 vitality, 20 mana, 10 strength. That's going to be the basic for all accessories. They're going to have one of those. And the next thing is like 5% damage, 5% damage reduction, 10% HP regen, and 20% mana regen, right? And so that's going to be like half of what legendaries would be. Legendaries, 40% mana regen, 20% HP regen, 10% strength, 10% damage reduction. Mythics is a whole new complete category with 2 separate accessory types that you can get. So there's either going to be like a fully damage reduction or damage build to where you can go 20% damage reduction, 20% damage, or you can go for another one, which is a completely new accessory that's getting added, which is hybrid accessories, right? So this is going to be damage reduction, like 10%, and then like 40% mana regen or 20% HP regen, vice versa with strength, not strength, physical damage multiplier. It's going to be 10% damage, and then you would have 20% HP regen and 40% mana regen, all right? And then the next thing I want to talk about is Transcendence. Now, these are going to be in a special, like very, very special category for accessories. You're not going to see these for a little bit, but they're going to have completely unique skills. Or not skills, but like passives. So like one of them that we've had made, and it's probably going to be added far into the future, but just to give you guys a general idea and what they're about to be doing is it's going to actually have a thing that takes a portion of the damage, and it's going to be a sizable portion of your damage that goes towards your mana bar instead of your HP. So it'll end up chunking your mana and your HP, but you would take less HP loss. So if you went like a high, like 8 mana regen type of build, and you could really start going crazy with something like that, right? You could see how it could go a little bit nuts, you know what I'm saying? But it'll be stuff like that, where it's like on a completely new tier, but it's completely separate from the substats as it is. So at a base, you're technically going to be weaker, but if the unique skill or passive is good enough for you to be running it on your build, you think that your build fits it perfectly, that's going to be something you run. It's just completely unique. So, with that being said, I'm going to get into what these creatures are going to be looking like. And I'm only going to be sneaking 4 for you guys today because I want to make sure that there's some hype between the new creatures coming out. That way you guys don't know what they all look like and what you're going to be expecting, and it's going to be more of a surprise. But there's going to be 4 new creatures that I'm going to show you guys out of the 9 being created. There's going to be the Wyvern, the Wolf, the Golem, and Lullaby. Lullaby being a world boss. So with that being said, since there's going to be new creatures into the game, obviously that's going to change progression a little bit, right? So instead of only being able to do the mission boards, you're going to actually have the opportunity to grab these bounty boards, which is going to take you up at a higher rate. They're going to be much harder than the freshie missions. Those were only in the game because people were too trash to deal with the mobs that we already had in place. So now people are going to be able to progress through that. And obviously, it's more rewarding to play with the higher the party members you get. Also, whenever you complete a bounty on a creature, you're going to be able to repeat the quest. And that's going to essentially allow you to not even go back to the bounty board. So you can stay into the area and keep killing as many creatures as you want of that type, right? Also, one other thing is there's actually going to be world bosses into the game. These guys are no joke. You're seriously going to need the entire server to work together to take these guys down. But they're going to have the first mythical drops in the game, and it's going to be absolute cinema. I'm talking like these guys are massive, like as big as your guild base. Like they're going to be huge. One of them I'm going to keep secret, but Lullaby's already been showed, and he's going to be really tough to deal with, let me tell you. But it's going to be really fun to fight, and I can't wait for them to get at it.